My half-sister's mom lied and said I took advantage of her when I was 16, but she was the one who took advantage of me, so when my sister reached out to say she finally knew the truth, I told her to jump off a bridge like she told me to 10 years ago. I, 41M, lost my mom when I was 8 and not long after my dad met his new wife. He was 39, she was 20. They had a kid very quickly afterwards, my now half-sister who's 31. I loved her so much. We had a great relationship for a short while. My stepmother, though, groomed me and we had an intimate relationship for a couple of years starting when I was 14. When I was 16, we were found out but she lied and said I took advantage of her, she was innocent, and I was coercing her. My dad believed it, and I was thrown out to fend for myself. I saw my little sister by chance when I was 26 and she was 16. I was so happy and was asking her loads of questions and how she was. She basically told me she hated me, I was a rapist and to go and off myself basically. So I know by then she'd got my stepmother's version of events. And believed it. I was devastated, and it really affected me. I've not done too badly, though considering, I have a good job, nice house and lovely wife. I also changed my name by deed poll to my mum's surname. In my eyes, my dad and his side were dead to me. A couple of days though, my half-sister reached out to me on social media out the blue and sent me a long message. She basically said her mum just passed and she told her what really happened before she did, that I was telling the truth, her mum groomed me and needed to clear her conscience before she passed. So now she's feeling awful and needs to apologize and hopes we can meet at some point, and she's also told my dad and he feels terrible and would like to see me again. I basically told her to get screwed. I'm glad her mum passed and hope dad goes soon. And that as she once told me to off myself, she should also do the same. Not long after that, her fiancé messaged me going off saying she's distraught and I'm a piece of crap for saying something so horrible to someone so vulnerable. I basically blocked him. Obviously, my wife knows what happened and says I was stupid and could be in trouble with the police. And that I should have just thought about it a bit more. Am I the jerk for what I did? Edit. Someone is now stalking me and sending me abusive messages in chat like this. Well, I am not the one fudging my father's wife. Screw off, idiot. I tried to give you good advice. What do you want to hear more on? That telling someone who just lost their mother to go kill themselves was the height of intelligence? You wouldn't be here asking jerk. If you thought you were right. You just want other morons to agree with you. Well. Sorry Cupcake, I'm not a moron. But please, keep insulting anyone who tries to give you good advice and tries to get you to grow up a little. Now screw off with the penthouse letter BS. Update 1. I was really shaken reading the post, and people found out what I think my sister wrote. Reading what she's going through, in fact just reading generally her post made me sad and think of her as that little kid again that I love to death. And reading how sad she was when I was first kicked out also was like a punch in the balls. So I've reached out to her asking for her phone number so we can talk. Nothing back as of yet though. Not sure what I'll say at this point, or even what I want to hear, but I feel I need it. Commenter. They didn't give you a chance, but now they expect one? Screw that. NTA. Commenter 2. Moreover, they believed a minor took advantage of an adult, so yeah, they should feel awful and should live with this shame and pain for the rest of their pathetic existence. Update 2. I posted the other day about my abuse and someone was really vile about it, but it's made me doubt myself, so I feel like I have to get it off my chest. She started out okay enough. She was 11 years older than me and she seemed cool. She acted like less of a parent to me and more of a big sister though, and did most of the parenting for my half-sister. Now I'm older, I realize the inappropriate behavior started earlier than when I was 14. Mainly comments about me being good looking, that I'm far too good for girls my age when I was struggling not to get a girlfriend. Things like that. So the abuse wasn't out of nowhere, but it went 0 to 60 really quickly. It started when she caught me choking my chicken when I was 14. I was mortified, but she laughed and said it's okay and to carry on. And she watched. Obviously I was a kid, so thought it was the best thing ever. She responded by conveniently leaving some of her knickers next to my bed the next morning. Like, what grown woman does that? Her coming and watching became regular. Then one day, she started getting off herself. I was gobsmacked. Then one day, she started doing it to me and got me to do it to her, promising if she reached, she'd go one better. Then when she did one day, she gave me oral. And got me to give it to her, promising the same, if she reached that she'd let me lose my V to her. Which she did. All that was in the space of about 6 months. And it didn't just stop there, of course. She trained me to be dad while he worked away, which he did all the time. He was gone for weeks on end, and when he was, she'd have me sleeping in with her when my half-sister was asleep. I was doing things no kid should even know about. Even though I was a hormonal, horny teenager, I knew it was wrong, and I told her as such a few times. But she put it on me that while I was substituting for my dad, I'd stop her cheating on him with random men and stop them splitting up. Which I didn't want to be responsible for, right? So I carried on. I started becoming more self-confident and started attracting attention of girls in my year. She didn't like that and got jealous. When I was 15 and was going on a date with a girl, she scared her off. And told me I didn't want to date a kid who won't even like intercourse for years when I can have a woman like her all the time. She told me so much how she loved me, that I made her so happy. I'm pretty sure too she had an abortion a few times, she supposedly miscarried loads. I couldn't keep it in anymore, so I told a cousin eventually. Even though he acted like I was lying, it must have been enough that he told me dad, and then one day my dad confronted us. Which of course she denied. And she went nuclear, came up with this far more believable scenario than the truth. Which, if you're a middle-aged man, who would you believe? Your son who made out his stepmother used him like her husband, or the wife who made out I took advantage of her when drunk then kept on doing things to her? Well, my dad believed her and kicked me out. And all his side believed them. I was essentially this pariah. It messed me up for years. I was hyper-intimate for years and still am. I had intercourse with everyone and anything I could, men, women, old, young, mostly older, as I had a skewed view of acceptable age gaps. Until I actually sorted my life out in my mid-30s and got help. Without that, I'd never have met my now wife, who's shown me true love. Thankfully she also has a high drive, although not like mine at all. We have a semi-open relationship, we have casual boyfriends and girlfriends and have 3 ways together often, so one can meet their needs when the other isn't up to it. Which typically is me seeing someone with my drive being like it is. It might not be the usual, but it works for us. Hopefully if anyone reads this, it's been useful. It has been for me writing it. Update 3. Thank you to everyone who commented on my original, you all definitely helped me a lot. Especially the people who sent me my sister's post earlier on that week. It was reading that which really made me feel for her and ask if we could talk, and gave her my number. It took her a couple of days, but she did ring the other day. We spoke for hours. I apologized for what I said and she accepted my apology. I also apologized for what I said to her fiancé and he apologized too. She wanted me to be really blunt and honest with her about everything and not hold back, the abuse, what my stepmother actually did, so I told her in graphic detail. She actually felt sick and I asked her if she wanted to go, and I ring back another time, but to her credit she carried on and we carried on talking, about our life experiences since, how it affected us, etc., and it's surprising how much in common we've had. Hatred for a while of the opposite gender until we sought help / met our partners, struggles with our sexuality, loads. The main thing was though how betrayed she now feels, not just by her mum but the more she thinks about it, dad now as well. That he just screwed me off to fend for myself. She is really angry about the fact for years after I was thrown out, she missed me and wanted to find me and even live with me. But she never knew why I was cut off, so they told her their version of events when she was old enough, I suppose, to stop her, and it worked. She went from loving me to hating me, so was so angry about that. Now she's learned that's all bollocks, her head's fried. She's basically told dad he has to carry on arranging the funeral, she doesn't need it and he's doing it now. People are bothering her asking questions and she's just going quiet. We ended the call on good terms. She called me by my nickname she called me as a kid when saying bye, and I responded with the same, and we both cried at that. Really was fudging hard. We've not said if we'll talk again but have messaged since a couple times and it was all pleasant. I'm ultimately not sure how much contact or a relationship I want yet, despite us having a positive experience. She understands that I need time. I definitely still don't want to talk to dad or want anything to do with him, despite him apparently now being desperate, her words. She 100% understands and is also questioning how much she'll have a relationship with him going forward. She's going to discuss it with a therapist. She said his health has been poor for a few years now and has been really bad since she passed. I personally wouldn't still feel bad if he did too. I definitely wouldn't go to the funeral. She understands that too. There's lots of work for me to do. I'm trying to see a therapist again myself, my head's fried. Commenter. She was triangulated against you. I can only offer praise for how you handled a very tough situation. Time will tell if your relationship expands or not.